Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Linda. I'm the lady of Lady and the Frogs. I haven't got any frogs with me, all the stuffed frogs are sat in the bed. So it's Monday morning. I'm a bit knackered today. Still ill. I just can't shake off this cough, and it's really affecting my asthma. So just on a bit of a go slow. But I did work my arse off yesterday, trying to get as many listings being regarded as new listings on my eBay account, so they would apply to the 50% fee offer that I had. So, you know, I did do a lot of work yesterday. I must have had about 200 things which I ended up sending live. As the vlog said yesterday, I did stock take of coats and skirts and dresses. I think was it? Yeah, well anyway, I did a full stock take of everything that I have. So, you know, I am like absolute peace of mind. I've been able to find all my stock really quickly this morning because everything was so lovely and tidy in all my boxes. And so far I've had 26 transactions because it's transactional. So I've had 26 transactions which have counted under the discounted fees. So I only need to do 74 more. I can't think whether it was actually the other way around, whether I'm like thinking it was actually 24 and 76. Don't know. Anyway, I've done a quarter-ish. And after I'd done my stock take yesterday, I did manage to send 10 brand new listings live. So my concentration today, I think, is going to be on pressing, and I've got 2 boxes of stock there which I can't even remember what they are, so I'm going to do a whole video with them and then try and work out what they are and get them pressed and ironed, and if there's any stains in there, which I know I've got like loads of stains which I've pulled out of last week's stuff which I need to tackle. But it's a shame because our bathroom's in a bit of a state and there's a big ladder in the middle of it because we're trying to sort out a problem in there. So it's not actually that easy for me to like spot clean what I need to do, because I'll probably end up spot cleaning it, and then because the state of the bathroom brings some new stains to the garment, which I'm very good at even when the place is allegedly clean. But I don't think I'm a clean person really. So things I have going out in the post, it's all clothing because that seems to be most of the stuff which I have like done a stock take on. So the refresh has done the world of good. This is the only thing which I've got which isn't a clothing item, and it's a Vogue magazine. I'm quite glad to see the back of this one. I mean, I don't know who that is because obviously it's Vogue Italia, and trying to find out who the model's name isn't that simple. But doesn't that look like Ghislaine Maxwell? I mean, I know it isn't because it's 1993, and I mean maybe she did look like that in 1993. I don't know, but it isn't because I was so convinced, and in a way it would sort of be a selling point for it, but it isn't. Anyway, I've sold that for $12.99 because I'm on like the dregs. These were all like free. These were all going in a skip. So $12.99, but I do have free postage. But then because of the weight of these, they can't go large letter, even though they are large letter size. And then the rest of it is all clothing. So a lot of it is auction. So a lot of this doesn't apply under the listing offer. It's only the buy it now stuff which applies. I have got this boucle skirt which I've had for ages. It just didn't sell. It sold for £10, maiden bid auction. That's Zara. I thought it would go really well. Other people have got £30 for this, not me. This is my struggle with clothing. This predates the pandemic. I know, I remember picking this up on a £1 rail. So I've made a loss on this. I've sold this for 99p just because I'm pig sick of the sight of it. I was going to redonate this. Let's hope it doesn't come back. So that's Marks and Spencer's. Yeah, I know it says per owner. It says made in Italy as well, but it just, nobody's been interested. So I'm glad to see the back of that. I tend to say Marks and Spencer's when it's Marks and Spencer's, and I know that a lot of people say like St. Michael, and I just think, what are you doing? It's Marks and Spencer's. This is, I sold this for 18, so this is a goth brand. Some of these goth brands, it's like hard to gauge it. So this is EMP, which I do pick up a lot. The menswear goes very well in this, but that's a nice little blouse. £18 is fine. I've only ever paid like £2 or £3 for any of this stuff. I've got a pair of Levi's there. What have they gone for? I think 18. It's possible that I've like let them go for too little, but it's so saturated. I've got a lot of Levi's which are just sort of like sat around and haven't gone anywhere. So these are 512s. It's possible that, I mean, I know other people get like 30 and 40, but I've had these for ages, so they have gone for 18. This is another thing which I wasn't so sure where to gauge it. So I think this is Danish. So this is an asymmetrical top. It is menswear. You know, it's got seam detail at the back. It's called First Aid to the Injured, which is one of these ones where if you type it in, you just get first aid kits. So the label looks like that. It's a very niche brand. They've got a website. They do sort of these minimalist looking items. That has sold for £35. I had it on for 50, but there was no real comps, so I didn't know what to price it at. So when somebody sent me an offer after I'd done my stock take and everything was going on back on a sell similar, somebody sent me an offer of 35, and I just thought, well, that's fine. I only paid 3, that's fine. This is a fail and a brand that I will never pick up again. This is Crew Clothing. I don't know how other people can sell it. I thought that was an all right jumper for what it was, but nobody else did. That's gone for £4.99. I think. No, possibly less than that. I think it's £4. This is a Reese Cashmere Blend jumper. How much has this gone for? I can't think offhand. Somebody sent me an offer and I just took it. I think it was 20, the offer. I'm not sure if it's a bit shrunk and maybe I've put that in the listing, but it's only cashmere blend, and Reese is an odd brand, so that's fine. Again, I would have only paid like £2 or £3. Adidas, which I must stop picking up. I can't stop. When I did my stock take of all the jumpers and the rest of it, I put a load of stuff on auction, and this is one of the things that's gone on auction. So that's gone for a £5. You know, it's just a top. And then this, which some people seem to have done really well. And when I picked it up at the beginning of last year, other people were selling it, but mine didn't. I've got 2 of these. These are super dry. The other one's bloody orange. And it's called Sulphur Orange, which, let's face it, is piss orange. So I don't really know if I'm going to sell that one. So this blue one has gone for £8. It was on auction, starting at £10, but somebody sent me that, and it is just cotton. So that's it. That's all I've sold. And thank God, all I've got to do is now just fold them up and throw them in a poly bag and just start off to the post office. And then I'm going to do photographs for the rest of the day and listing. So it's really like interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm going to list the rest of that stuff because the pile that I've got is sort of a bit dishevelled because I moved it all around yesterday trying to find the things that were like priced the highest, so that I would benefit from the listing offer. But now my pile is in disarray, so if I start adding to it, it's going to be even more disarray. So I'm going to concentrate on listing all of that first, I think, and because I'm just a bit phased out. Although I stopped, I think I was working up until about 9 PM last night in between food. So, you know, I think I'm entitled to be a little bit slow today. But I need to do photographs today, tomorrow, because I don't know what the light is doing. Yeah, but I also feel like I need to go sourcing tomorrow, because I know there's going to be an influx of resellers coming into Manchester for the meetup. So what can you do? Yeah. Anyway, that's another matter, isn't it? So right, I'm going to get on with listing. I was hoping you might help me out, Stephen. I'll give you a pen and something to lean on. And I've got this roll of customs declarations here. Yeah. Could you put some addresses on these so that when I need them, they've all got addresses on? No. Why would I do that? Come on, I could really do with your help here. I've got some stuff which I need to send abroad, and I need to have the customs declarations filled out. Like, I've got a whole roll of them. No, that doesn't sound like something I would do. 50p per address if I do it. What do you mean if you do it? No, I'm not paying that. I'll do it myself. No, it doesn't sound like something I'm going to do. Very weird light. Me and light at the moment. Should we have the drink in the picture? So it's still weird light. This is the light that I've been waiting for, so I shouldn't be like moaning, because when I woke up, it's been like overcast for the first like 3 hours, and I've been like thinking, what the hell is going on? Because I was hoping to do all my photos this morning in decent light, and it was overcast and dreary and horrible. And I was so annoyed, because yesterday when I finished pressing everything and ironing, so I have everything pressed and ironed there waiting, and I've got that big dress on the male mannequin, even though it's got no boobs, because it's just going to hang off the other one because it's a size 22. But then of course this is the size 22, which was in my haul yesterday. So maybe I am a size 22. I mean, it's definitely too long in the arms for me, but I thought I was a size 14, 16, you know, probably more like a size 16. So yeah, I can't sell this. And I put it on yesterday instead of putting the heating on. Yeah, so I didn't do my photos yesterday because it was that orangey light, and I just thought I keep doing photos in orangey light, and then they're very shadowy, and they are also not quite right on the colour balance. So I was thinking I would do it this morning, but I'm going to shoot out to the post office with the 5 things I've got here and come back, because probably midday is going to be the best lighting scenario. It is only the stuff which I did on the haul. I'm just going to do it in bits. So stuff that's going out. A pack of Lego pieces. I can actually show you which one it is, because it's in this set here, which I've got. So it is, oh, come on. It is a pack of 12 of this Lego fence piece, which is in there, which I've just got a whole load of those ready to go. So that'll just go large letter. And then I've got this set here, which is sold for 20. So those are sold for £3.99. So that's this other one. So this is apparently now going to Texas, US, which is weird, because when I accepted the offer, it said that they were in Germany. I don't know what's going on with Germany. It's freaking me out every time I sell to Germany. So I picked this box out to use, and I realise now that's like totally inappropriate. So now I've spent loads of time trying to find a box, thinking, oh, it's just a small one, and that's like too small. So I don't know what I was thinking that this Lego set was. Anyway, we'll leave that aside. So I have also got a Topshop skirt. This was on auction. It was at starting bids. I've had this for ages, just not sold. Somebody sent me a message with a sob story about being a student and not having enough money, but they obviously need a slutty skirt. So their offer was £6, so I took that. It's Topshop. It's not that good. This I have sold countless times to people who don't pay. You know, I do like Reese, but I don't like the buyers of Reese because they are a bit flaky. But I think most people are flaky, aren't they? Yeah, flaky. Everybody's flaky. So that's gone at £9.99 starting bid. You know, everything just seems to go on the maiden bid. Just, it's no wonder I miss the good old days when, you know, you could have like a really crazy auction. So I remember eBay when you used to be to go on it and there was hardly anything. You used to search it and there was literally hardly anything on there. It just seems like so long ago. I remember the web when there was hardly any websites on it. You had to wait. My first experience of the internet was when I was a student. So I was a student in 1997, and we had like our own sign in, and we could go on the computers in them, like computer rooms, and you could go on like websites, but it would be like literally take that long for anything to load, and most things didn't really have websites, and it was a bit naff. And yeah. I seem to remember just going on this punk clothing website, which I used to quite like, but they made their own clothes, and they were fairly new, but they were like embracing new stuff. But then I never bought anything online. I didn't. We did. Yeah, I didn't have. Yeah, I used to just look at the stuff and then buy it in person when I used to see it at events. Oh, events! You know, and that's another story. When I used to be to go to a gig for £3, I had a dream about the Manic Street Preachers. It was really weird because I was sitting in a pub and James Dean Bradfield was there, and he was like enamored with me, and it was like really weird. And I was actually trying to like get away from him for some reason. I have no clue. And then I realised that the marketing that I keep getting on my Instagram is telling me to go and see the Manic Street Preachers in Suede, but the tour is only in the US. So that's not happening. Why are they touring only in the US? Do people actually care? And anyway, it's like, it's so much more money. When I first went to see the Manics, it was like £8. If I actually get round to clearing this cupboard out, I'll actually be able to find out how much exactly my gig tickets were. So anyway, the actual decent thing which I've sold, which I probably should have held out for more, but I've sold this for £21. Why is my lighting going into like some kind of dream state? Am I passing over? I suppose. No, that curtain is open. It just looks like it isn't open. Yeah, so this is Fat Face. I've only listed this on Sunday night, so it's gone under that listing offer. This is the Emmy with the button sides. So yeah, I probably should have held out because it's a decent size. It's a decent colour. I probably should have kept it for myself because it's purple, but I'll just get tangled up with those buttons. I know what I'm like. My hair really needs a haircut and I haven't bothered with it, and I really need to dye it, but we still have a ladder in the middle of the bathroom because we do so much of the job and then just like leave it because we're trying to monitor whether something is actually leaking. I'm fairly certain that we've achieved what we needed to achieve. So one of the things that we did do at the weekend is that we were bleeding the radiators, and my husband bled most of them, and then he gave me the key to do the one in our bedroom, and I did it. So you just do it, and then he says, well, just turn it and then turn it back. So I turned it, a little bit of water came out, and then I turned it back again, and then I pulled the key out, and inside the key was the little bit of metal that's supposed to be on the radiator. So I mean, it's not leaking, but now we won't be able to bleed it again because the metal came out. It just sheared off. This is the story of this apartment. I swear to God, don't buy a new build. Don't buy a new build. This was built in 2005 and it is the worst nightmare I've ever had. And like the first house that I had, I mean, I grew up in an old house anyway, but the first house that I had back in Derby that I lived in for at least a decade, that was from the 1800s and it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. Anyway, yeah, and we didn't have to wrestle with the heating system. Heating systems only became a problem when combi boilers became a big deal. So I don't know why I'm talking about these things. I know we were talking about it the weekend, and I've done the meter readings, and because we've had a leak on the system and we've had it off, I realised just how much the combi boiler costs to run, because from what I can see, we are not spending all that much money on our electric. With my gas and the electric, I'm really furious with them, and in fact they've taken another payment out today, which I could really do without. So they've taken £140 out today, which is a decrease on the previous thing because it's taken into account the government discount that they've added to it. But I'm £500 in credit at the moment, and I know that this is supposed to see me through the winter, but I mean, are we really going to be putting the heating on that much? I know it's not like cold at the moment, but it just makes me wonder how I've managed to get £500. I've never ever been in credit, and it's never mattered to them before. They've just taken their payments, and we've always been a sort of like a little bit in arrears, and then they just up it and they take the money. But the fact is that they've got £500 of my money now, which they shouldn't have. And as of today, they'll have £640 of my money, which frankly, I don't think that they're entitled to just keep. Part of me feels like completely dropping that payment down, because as far as I can see, is this, if I'm in £500 in credit, surely that should already see me through the winter, and I don't need to carry on spending £140. They never come down around and do meter readings. I'm sending my meter readings in on a monthly basis. So I don't know what's going on. There's something, it's like they want to make us be careful with how much we use our gas and electric. And, you know, I have to admit that we probably were a bit indulgent last year in that, you know, it was like a tropical paradise in here sometimes with the heating. And we're walking around, you know, in t-shirts where we didn't need to be. And yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they're just trying to like make people rethink their energy usage. But I can't see that I'm using that much more than I was. In fact, we're using less. Something just doesn't add up with it. It just doesn't add up, because I've never been £500 in credit. Never. And I don't like the fact that they've got my money, because it feels like they've got it under false pretenses. Yeah, is anybody else in like mad credit, or is it just me? I mean, we are being crazy careful. We don't have a whole lot of appliances and things, and we are turning lights off, and we're being like hyper aware of it. So maybe it's that, but I have never been in this situation, and maybe I'm like unique to the whole of the world. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see where we are in November. But I just don't. I can't see that I'm going to be using that much money. That much. Am I really going to spend £500 in the next 4 months on my utility bills? I don't think so. I really don't. There's only 2 of us here, and we're sitting in blankets. Okay, I'm back. I have just been looking at my usage, because I did a meter reading yesterday, which I know everybody was supposed to put them through on like the 1st of October because prices went up, but I didn't do mine until yesterday. So my updated bill for today, quite interesting. So apparently we've used more electric, which stands to reason because we've had the this is based on September last year, so this is in comparison to September last year because it shows this on my bill, and this is like up-to-date information from this morning. So we've been using 18 kilowatt hours of the gas this year. Now this time last year, so for September last year, we were using 82 or something like that kilowatt hours on average. So the fact that we haven't been using the boiler because it's been, you know, we've just been being careful because there's obviously something wrong with it. So we just didn't want, because we were a top floor flat and we knew we had a leak, we weren't using it because we didn't want to leak onto the neighbours until we got to the bottom of it. So we've been like holding off using the gas. So obviously the water is still heated by that. It's just on the loop of the heating system where there's a leak somewhere, and it's under floorboards. So it's like, yeah. So anyway, last year we were obviously when the cold snap started, we just put the heating on and we just let it run and we were just enjoying the heating. But this year we haven't done that, and it's like a so it's so much cheaper. We've literally only used a quarter of what we used this time last year, based on the fact that our boiler hasn't been working. So doesn't that just say a lot about how crap combi boilers are? And I've always thought this, and like I said, I was talking about like the first house that I had. It was actually built in 1879, and I know that because when I looked at the deeds on it, it said that they first laid the stones to build it on the 15th of July 1879, and I thought that was so weird because my birthday is actually the 15th of July 1979. So I was like, wow, this house that I'm living in is almost like destiny because it was built exactly 100 years before I was born. So we had storage heaters in it, and then there was this big thing at the end of the 90s where they were like, it's more economical to have a gas heating system put in. So my dad got a heating system put in because he owned the house. My mum had money to invest. So we had a heating system put in in the year 2000 or something, early 2000s, because it was like a big deal. It was like everybody was having gas boilers put in, so it was like this big drive for everybody, where everybody was encouraged to put the gas central heating in. But isn't that very telling that we've been heating with electric and it's only cost us marginally more? So our kilowatt hour average for last year for the electric was something like 17, and we were up this year by 18. So it's only like marginally different, and we've still been heating the house that way. And yet not having the gas on meant that we've saved so much more money. So the problem is that gas flipping boiler. They're not economical at all. It's some kind of swindle. Anyway, this has got nothing to do with reselling, so I will shut the fuck up about this. I just thought it was interesting, and the fact that I've looked at that comparison on my bill this morning, and I would urge you to look at what you're doing this year compared to what you were doing last year, and maybe it's just a question of cutting back on things. We've been sort of turning off lights and doing stuff like that. They say that 1 kilowatt hour is the equivalent of leaving a light on for 24 hours. That's what my energy providers say the comparison is. So you probably can save money just doing little things. Anyway, I'm going to go to the flipping post office and get these photos done. So I'll be back with you to update you what I've actually done. Right, so I managed to actually extract myself and leave. So if we're going to continue this moaning, we're going to have to do it in Paul Whitehouse. Paul Whitehouse fast show, mate. Ain't gas brilliant? Its whole existence is to, yeah, keep us warm, but it's to make all the billionaires more billionaires, even like trillionaires. Brilliant. Millionaires to be billionaires. That's what it's here for. Ain't gas? Brilliant. Brilliant. You know what else is brilliant? People who do fly tipping. Oh my god. Yay. Ain't fly tipping brilliant? Brilliant. It's like you get a new mattress and you just get rid of the other mattress on the street instead of going to the dump, because the dump is just free anyway, so why would you take it to the dump? So anyway, yeah, brilliant. What else is brilliant is the fact that it was overcast and now the moment I've left the house it's sunny. Brilliant. Yeah, I don't get rained on, but I do need to get my photos done, but you know, at least I better get my photos done when I get in. Brilliant. Brilliant. Lorry's brilliant. I can't cross the road because he's reversing. Ain't lorries brilliant? Brilliant. Autumn brilliant. It sends the trees a different colour. Ain't autumn brilliant? You know what else is brilliant? Royal Mail. Even when they're on strike, they're better than every. Here we go. Let's go. Post office in. Brilliant. Yeah, I still haven't done those labels, and I'm not going to do those labels. I'm not a scribe. I'm not here for this. I'm here for fun. Ooh, fun. Ooh, what should I have? No, we're not drinking. It's only the afternoon. Yes, anyway, I'm back. I have done all my photography. This light, I hate the light of the autumn and winter. It's such a pain. It's the shadows. I mean, I'm sure you can see these weird shadows. And when I put the mannequin up, it always gets shadows, even the freestanding mannequin. And then the sun comes beaming through. And it's just psycho sun. So anyway, I have done all of this. Where's my finger? Let's use this finger. So this is all my stuff, which is photographed, ready to be listed. So that's what I'm doing now. I've done 24 things today. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. 24-ish. And I've done a bit of spot cleaning. So I'm going to list a few things because that I haven't done and that's not good enough. So I'm going to faff around and list some of this stuff. And possibly schedule some, but maybe not. I don't know. I think I'm going to go sourcing tomorrow, to be honest, because I feel like if I don't go sourcing, I didn't go sourcing last week, and I feel like I need to go and just get a little bit of stuff banked, ready to do. And I also need to do my sewing jobs. And this guy needs to prep my address labels, my customs labels. Yeah, I'll probably sit and do them on the sofa tonight because he's not going to do them. He'll probably, you know, put random addresses on, like Jack Sparrow return address and other things. Anyway, that's me done. I am going to upload this video, and I appreciate that it's become a long video because I'm babbling on about stuff. It was just because I started looking at the detail of my bill, and it probably doesn't even make any sense anyway. The upshot of it is heating systems, well, gas heating systems cost a lot of money, and I'm going to be very, very choosy about when I put it on this winter. So I'm going to crack on with that, and thank you for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow with more Vlogtober. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Yeah, and I'd like you to subscribe. If you subscribe, maybe I'll fill in some labels. I still want 50p. 50p a label. No.